So we had a bit of a bad omen the other night. The brake run, which is only 1 foot tall, got blown over by the wind. And here I am in the middle of building an 11-foot tall lift hill. However, unlike the brake run outside and the Magnum coaster lift hill that I built before, this lift hill is going to be a lot more beefy. So one of the elements that'll make this lift hill a lot stronger is some of the cross bracing I have. For example, this diagonal support here, and there's going to be a lot more like it as the supports get bigger, holding up the 11-foot tall portion of the track. Then we have the lift hill portion itself, the part that holds the track. So I have this triangular design I built, which does really well at preventing it from going up and down or side to side. It does allow for a little bit of a twist, but I think that'll be fine when it comes to the wind. Now let's take this out there. Much easier than last time. And this is what the final structure looks like. There's a lot more clearance, but it's also stronger going down on either side. But now I got a lot more building to do inside before we come back out here. Oh no! So even though 2/3 of my lift hill track is already outside, we still got a ways to go because I don't want the chain to snap. It always snaps on some of my big models, and I've got some new methods to prevent that from happening. So one of the things I've realized is the old chain, or the original big chain for the K'NEX models, this is much more prone to snapping than the little chain. Now you might wonder why, because all the micro K'NEX parts are usually more small and flimsy than the old stuff, which usually seems more robust. However, if you look here, this is the new micro K'NEX chain and this is the old regular K'NEX chain. They are the same width. The plastic little links here, this is the same width as this. These are just spread way further apart, so they're more prone to unhooking themselves. The ratio of plastic to chain link is much higher here than it is here, which means that these don't snap nearly as much as these ones do. These ones hold pretty well, and so the trick is to get the tiny little chains on the big K'NEX track. So the K'NEX track is built for the big chain. As you can see here, it holds it pretty well. But the little chain is so small it can't really balance on the middle tubing. So I have to figure out a way around that. And Johnny helped me make that first step. So a couple coasters ago I built a suspended coaster. And it had a little clamp that held the chain up. Now I just modified that clamp and then to put it here, so then I can put another track inside the track to guide the tiny chain and prevent it from snapping as much. So that's my plan. This is going to be the first because I've never had a lift hill this tall before. This is going to be the tallest working lift hill on a model roller coaster of all time. So here I've built the top third of what's going to go outside. And as I've said before, it has this 90-degree turn, which as far as the supports go will help me add to the stability. And then finally we have this thing. Now let's take a better look at this. So real dive machines have this. It's a chain that serves as a holding brake that holds the train before it plummets down the first drop. And basically the real trains have a chain dog that goes the opposite way, so this chain just moves really slow and the weight of the train pushes it down. Now K'NEX makers trains obviously don't have a backwards chain dog, but they do have the next best thing, which is magnets. So what did I decide to do? I decided to put magnets on this chain. They're not on there yet, but I designed this 3D printed part. It's literally just a connector and a little hole. I got these little block magnets from Target. They're 0.19 inches each side, And this hole is 0.19 inches, so I just slide these little magnets in the hole. They're in there. I'll probably put a little piece of duct tape or something around to hold them in. They're stuck in there pretty good, but they might come off if they get too close to the train. So then I have the magnets in here, and then all that's left is to snap it on the chain, and then watch what happens. There we go. I mean, it didn't slow it down as much as the real ones do, but it did slow it down a little bit. It's kind of a balance. If I add to this weight, adds friction to the chain. If I add to this weight, it might be too heavy and just stop it. I don't want that to happen, but I also don't just want it to slide through. So that's going to be a balancing act. But for now, I'm just going to add more magnets all around the chain, so it doesn't matter where it hits, it's always going to slow this down a little bit. This thing is crazy. It has survived 18-mile-an-hour winds. And it's been pretty stable. During the 18-mile-an-hour winds, it just twisted a little bit here, but there was no big swaying or anything. So I added this big support here, so I can't really push it that way. If I try to push it this way, the drop kind of holds it. So it's pretty beefy. So I still have to put the final structural reinforcement in, which will be the ropes that go from the top of the tower all the way to get staked into the ground down here, as well as the chain and the drill that powers the chain and finishing the first drop. But that'll have to be in the next update. I'm going to leave you here for now with a couple more shots of this huge tower.